My friends, a reading from the Holy Gospel according to Saint Matthew.
Glory to you, O Lord.
As Jesus passed by, two blind men followed him, crying out, "Son of David, have pity on us." When he entered the house, the blind men approached him, and Jesus said to them, "Do you believe that I can do this?" "Yes, Lord," they said to him. Then Jesus touched their eyes and said, "Let it be done for you according to your faith." And their eyes were opened. Jesus warned them sternly, "See that no one knows about this." But they went out and spread the word of him through all that land. My friends, the good news of our salvation.
Praise to you, O Lord Jesus Christ.
Good morning, my sisters and brothers, and we thank God for giving us this beautiful day. I do not know if I have already informed you or told you that in my own experience of spiritual direction, especially in the midst of this COVID virus, I recognize and I am actually aware that there are so many of us who are actually losing also our own faith. Even for those Catholics or Christians who are well-founded or well-grounded in their own faith before the virus, now they are in a way also having small doubts or pockets of doubts entering into their own mind because of what's happening in our own society today. Some of them are also questioning that they're always following the Lord, and they are so faithful, they are so generous, and yet how come that one of their kids or one of their own loved ones are now infected by the COVID virus? Everything right now is in the context of mystery, and we cannot understand because our eyes, our own logic, our own understanding is failing in terms of understanding how the Word or how the Lord is working in our own lives. Come to think of it, you do have your own personal issues. Sometimes we have also questions, and we have so many concerns and also complaints against God, but we don't tell that to God because we are afraid, because we tend to in a way respect God, but in the end, at the back of our own mind, we have so many questions with regard to our faith, with regard to how the Lord is working in our own life. You know, my sisters and brothers, our God is a very gentle and loving God. Be true to Him when you go to your prayer. Kung galit ka, sabihin mo sa Diyos. Kung nagdududa ka, sabihin mo sa Diyos. Kung hindi mo maunawaan ang nangyayari sa buhay mo, sabihin mo sa Diyos. This is basically the meaning of prayer. Prayer is basically returning home. And when you return home, you are more or less disposed to becoming who you are without any pretensions, without anything hiding, because you know that you will never be judged. And this is our God. That's why in this pandemic, one of the things that we are actually losing is also our own faith, the loss of our own faith. That's why the gospel reading for the day is also very timely in terms of scrutinizing or evaluating also our own faith. The story of our gospel is all about these two blind person who decided to come to Jesus because they know that Jesus can heal them. They know that. No? Alam ng dalawang bulag nito na si Jesus lamang ang magpapagaling. But you know, I realize also that yes, our story for today is basically a lesson on how to have faith in God. And I realize that when I look at these two blind person, there are two important things that I can consider that somehow they possesses, and because of that, the Lord healed them. What are those two characteristics of these two person? First one is persistence. Kulit. Ang kulit. Makulit ang dalawang ito. And the second one is the never surrender spirit that they possess. Kalagay ko, Ito yung ibig sabihin ng pananampalataya. Persistence, pagiging makulit. But at the same time is never ever surrender spirit. And I guess this is actually was tested by the Lord in our gospel reading for the day. Why? Klaro sa kanila. No? Kaya ang tanong dito, sino nga ba talaga? Bulag nga ba talaga itong dalawang ito? Bulag nga ba talaga sila? In the context of physical illnesses, we can say that these two persons are real blind. But in the context of spiritual disposition, I guess these two blind person are not blind because they can see and they know who they really want in their own life. Nakita sa kanila. Nakita nila, mga kapatid, kahit na silang ay mga bulag, nakita nila na si Jesus ang kailangan ng kanilang buhay. Nakita nila kung sino si Jesus bilang Mesiyas na tagapagligtas ng mundong ito. Nakita nila na si Jesus ang makapagbibigay lamang ng kagalingan sa kanilang buhay. Sisters and brothers, this is also a reality for us to reevaluate our own faith at this very moment in the context of this pandemic. Bulag ka ba o hindi? Nakikita mo ba na si Jesus lamang o ang Diyos lamang ang maaaring makapagbigay sa atin ng paliwanag-liwanag sa mga nagaganap sa ating buhay sa mga sandali ito? We need to learn from these two blind person because they have all the elements of how to become a person of faith or how to for us to be able to see what God is requiring us to see in our own life. There are 5 important elements of faith in our gospel reading for today na maganda pong tingnan. The first one is they are actually always in the first element or the first element of faith is to follow Jesus. Kailangan mo sundan si Jesus. Sa Tagalog pa, kailangan mo siyang buntutan. Kahit saan siya magpunta, huwag mong hihiwalayan. Because this is the meaning of how to become a disciples. Because a disciples cannot be a disciple without faith. Kailangan ng buntutan si Jesus. Pero minsan, binubuntutan lamang natin ang ating Panginoon, sisters and brothers, sa mga lugar na mapaya, sa mga lugar na tahimik, sa mga lugar na masaya. Diyan lang natin binubuntutan. Pero pag pumapasok na sa Jerusalem, sa mga pagsubok, sa pandemya, ayaw na nating buntutan ang ating Panginoon. Katulad ng mga disipulo, slowly, during the crucifixion, all of them started to fade away and run away because they don't want to experience also what Jesus is experiencing, which is basically crucifixion or carrying the cross. Buntutan mo ang Diyos kahit saan. Huwag mong hihiwalay ng Diyos. Ito yung tanda na meron kang pananampalataya. Binubuntutan mo ang Diyos maging sa kadiliman sapagkat alam mo na sa likod ng kadiliman, lilipas din yan. Mawawala rin yan, katulad ng pandemya. Kaya buntutan mo ang Panginoon sapagkat siya ang ating kailangan. The second element of faith is, sisters and brothers, according to our gospel for today, they shouted out loud and saying, Lord, help us. Lord, have pity on us. Para bang, minsan ganun eh. Sa likod ng mga pagsubok sa ating buhay, hindi na natin isinisigaw yung ating pananampalataya. Hindi na natin kinukwento kung paano ang Diyos ay nagmamahal. Hindi na po. Kadalasan, nananahimik na lamang tayo sa ating pananampalataya. Kasi tayo mismo nagdududa eh. Paano mo isisigaw ang pananampalataya kung ikaw ay mismo ay nagdududa? Mga kapatid, sino nga ba talaga ang nananalo sa ating mundo ngayon? Evil or good? I don't think evil is winning. But it seems that evil is winning because we don't shout out our faith. We don't shout out. Unfortunately, the evil is shouting more, louder than us. And so in the end, it seems that the evil spirit is winning. And so people would say, nananalo naman ang masamang spirito eh. Sigaw mo ang ating pananampalataya. Isigaw mo ang ating good news. Isigaw mo na hindi tayo pinababayaan ng Diyos sa mga taong nawawalan ng pananampalataya sa Diyos. Shout it out. Sign of good faith. Number 3 is, ipahayag mo ang salita ng Diyos. Spread the good news. How? Through our own examples or through our own witnessing. In this gospel reading for the day, my sister and others, the two blind person in a way have expressed their faith and confidence in Jesus because they shout out something which is dangerous when they said, Son of David, have mercy on us. You know, the word Son of David connotes that that person is actually connected to becoming a Messiah, because David is considered the king of one of the best kings, and David is considered a deliverer. But when you say that you're the son of David, this is the king that we are awaiting for. And so when you say Jesus, son of David, you are in a way expressing the boldness and audacity of your own faith, that you're telling to everyone, I am ready to sacrifice my dignity and everything for the sake of Jesus, and so I proclaim. Delikado po yung ginawa niya. Yung dalawa, marinig lang sila ng mga Pariseo at Skriba, siguradong sila ay magkakaroon ng tinatawag nating persecution. But sometimes, my sister and brothers, we don't really want also to express to other people the love of God. Minsan, di ba, pag alam mong gusto mong magbigay ng magandang aral sa mga taong naguguluhan ng landas o magbigay ng inspirasyon sa iyong pamilya, minsan natatakot ka. Kasi natatakot ka na sabihin, pari ka ba? Uy, si sister, madre na siya, sister. Para bang sinasabi natin na, mga kapatid, na ang pagpapahayag ng salita ng Diyos at ang pagbibigay ng inspirasyon sa mga tao ay para lamang sa mga pari at mga madre. Hindi po yun totoo. Lahat po tayo ay may kapangyarihan at responsibilidad na ipahayag ang salita ng Diyos. Never ever be in a way be stopped, no? By those words. Pari ka ba? Madre ka ba? Ipahayag mo. Kaya minsan, sisters, no, nakakatuwa po yung mga kapatid nating mga protestante o mga ibang Kristiyano. Bakit? Aakyat ng bus, ipapahayag ang salita ng Diyos, hindi sila nahihiya. Pinagtatawanan pa natin, hindi tayo nakikinig. Pero yung mismong akto nila, na hindi sila nahihiya na pumunta sa jeep, umakyat sa bus, o nasa palengke, may hawak ng mic, nagsasalita about the Word of God, and yet no one is listening, but they don't care. Because for them, they need to do it. Kristiyano po tayo. Dapat meron din po tayong ganung uri ng kakayahan na magpahayag ng salita ng Diyos. Hindi lamang po sa salita, mas mahalaga sa gawa. Sa ating pagbibigay halimbawa or witnessing sa mga tao na ang Diyos ay nabubuhay sa atin. Kaya sa likod ng ating takot, kaya nating tumulong sa ating kapwa. Sa likod ng ating mga pangamba, kaya nating ngumiti. Sa likod ng ating mga pinagdaraanan sa buhay, kaya nating manalig sa Diyos sapagkat hindi tayo pababayaan ng Diyos. Number 4, the two blind person have also expressed when their great recognition that they don't deserve the love of God, because they said, Lord, Son of David, have mercy on us. No? Para bang ang hinihingi nila habag, hindi ito ay deserving kami. No? Minsan, ganun tayo sa pagdarasal. Para bang pag nagdarasal tayo, Panginoon, ibigay niyo ito sapagkat ito ang dapat sa akin. Para bang mayroong sense of ownership or deserving. Hindi po eh. Ang pananampalataya, malinaw sa kanila, sa 2 bulag na ito, nananampalataya, malinaw sa kanila, they don't deserve anything. Napaka-humble ng dalawa. And because of that humility, the Lord recognized them. And the last one is, the most important thing, my sisters and brothers, is when such a person will say yes to the Lord, and that's the culmination of faith, when we can say yes to the Lord. So what about you, my sisters and brothers? Tanungin mo ang sarili mo. Nasa iyo ba yung apat na tanda ng tunay na pananampalataya? Kasi kung ito'y nasa iyo, makakakita ka ng mga bagay na gusto mong maunawaan sa buhay. Bumubuntot sa Diyos, sumisigaw, nagpapahayag, humihingi ng habag o awa in the context of humility, at ibinibigay niya ang kanyang oo, sapagkat ang sabi ng Panginoon sa ating pagbasa, naniniwala ka ba na ang iyong hinihingi ay makukuha mo? Tanungin mo, sisters and brothers, ang iyong sarili. Tinatanong ka ng Diyos, naniniwala ka ba na ang hinihingi mo sa panalangin mo ngayon ay ibibigay ng Diyos? Lalong-lalo na kung ito ay para sa kapakanan at kabutihan ng lahat. Naniniwala ka ba na ito ay ibibigay ng Diyos? If your answer is no, the Lord will definitely grant your request, especially if your request is something that will benefit the glory of God. My sisters and brothers, in this midst of this pandemic, many of us are losing our own faith and becoming spiritually blind. And because of that, depression comes in. I remember this beautiful song by Freddie Aguilar, no? Yung Bulag, Pipi at Bingi, kung naalala po niya. May isa pong linya rito na I was in a way struck and related to our discussion for today, or homily. Freddie Aguilar said in Bulag, Pipi and Bingi, di nalalayo sa iyo ang tunay na mundo. Marami sa atin ang nabubuhay ng tulad mo na bulag. Di makakita, di makadinig, minsan ay nauutal. Ito po'y mahalaga. Patungo sa hinahangad na buhay na banal. So the two blind person knows their deepest desire to be able to meet Jesus, to become a holy person. Because when we can have that inner eyes, not just the physical eyes, that inner eyes, we can see the will of God. And when you can see the will of God, you know that this will of God is actually the road to happiness or the road to holiness. Check about it, my sisters and brothers. How's your faith? Bulag ka ba? Nakikita mo ba ang galaw ng Diyos? Nakikita mo ba na ang Diyos ay nasa paligid natin sa likod ng ating kadiliman? Nakikita mo ba ng Diyos ang dapat mong hanapin? Kung nahanap mo na si Jesus at nakita mo na siya ang iyong kailangan, hindi ka bulag, mulat na mulat ang iyong mga mata.